Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Brailsford with Brailsford Woodworks. Thank you for joining me back on my channel. I do appreciate it. So I'd like to tell you what I did in the beginning of April. On March 29th, my wife and I flew to Ireland with my brother, his wife, and their daughter, and my son and my daughter-in-law. And the seven of us went to Ireland for a week. First off, let me say that is a beautiful country. If you get a chance to go, I can't recommend it enough. We saw very many things. Went the Ring of Kerry, we went to the Aran Islands, saw the Cliffs of Moher, went to Dublin. We never made it up to Belfast or anything like that, but I'm definitely going back. So on the Wednesday of our trip, I did something by myself. I was able to take a private lesson with Glenn Lucas in his woodturning studio in County Carlow, Ireland. His facility is absolutely spectacular. It is so well equipped. He gave me a full tour of the whole place, showed me his stock of wood that he gets in. These logs are absolutely enormous beeches and other things. He showed me his electric sawmill he uses to process his bowl blanks. He showed me how he dries his bowls. He's got a kiln that he uses, and it uses humidifiers in order to bring the moisture down where he wants it. And then we got in and got on with the lesson. The lesson itself, Glenn is so down to earth. He's such a nice guy, and if you've watched any of his videos, let me tell you, he comes off exactly the same way. He's soft-spoken, and he is so knowledgeable on turning. It is absolutely spectacular to watch and take part in. One of the first things we did is he showed me how to sharpen, and I felt I've done well in my sharpening up to this point, I thought, but he showed me just a better way to do it, and and I'm employing that now. I will tell you, eventually I will buy myself a Tormax system, because he really showed me how that, if you want to get to that top level, that's a really necessary kit. Showed me how to remove the burr on the inside of my gouges, how that's very important, and why, because he showed me if you don't take the burr off and what it looks like if you do take the burr off, and there was a huge difference. I use scrapers from time to time, but he showed me how I shy away from them, because some of the worst catches I've ever had on any tools I've used have usually been with a scraper. He showed me how to do it, and how to properly sharpen a scraper, and how the useful edge on a scraper straight off a sharpening is measured in seconds. I mean, you get very few touches in each location. He showed me how the sizing of a tenon on a bowl is so critical, how you want the tenon to be sized so that the jaws on your chuck are almost completely closed. I've always done it where I've gotten it close to whatever will fit into my jaws and just gone with it. I don't do that anymore. Now I actually take the time to do it the way Glenn showed me. We went on to fully turning a bowl. This is the one I turned. And just, very many things I did were from how I held the tools to how to cut on the inside, and then how to use a scraper to take off any high spots and things like that, and then how to sand. He showed me a better way to sand, and I employ it now, and the sanding time has dropped significantly, and I'm getting better results as a result of it. Yeah, if you have the opportunity to take a private lesson from Glenn, I can't recommend it enough. Even taking one of his group lessons, I just can't say enough on how great it was, and it was such a spectacular experience. And hats off to Glenn. He's a super nice guy, and I hope to go back and do it again. Alright, so the rest of this video, this is the bowl I turned over there. I want to finish it today. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put it in my chuck to start with, and I'm going to sand it one more time. I did already sand it to 400, but that was more than a month ago, and it has traveled back from Ireland to here. It's been sitting in my kitchen for the past month, and yeah, I just need to just touch it up with one more shot with 400 grit just to get it to where I want it to be to apply some finish. So then I will put the finish on it, and I will be using my General Finishes wood bowl finish on it. I will apply probably 3 coats, and then we'll be turning it around and taking off the tenon and finishing the bottom. Alright, so everything I had said previously about the size of the tenon honestly is not going to come into play with this particular chuck, because I don't have the same size jaws that Glenn did on his chucks. So, and this is just going to be for sanding, so I'm not worried about it. So I'm going to put it in here, we're going to sand it, and then again take the tenon off. He also showed me on how to make a double tenon. For sanding it makes it a lot easier. So this wood is, I think he called it flame beech. The beech over in Ireland has a lot more dramatic figure than it does over here, and this piece of wood is absolutely spectacular. Alright, so I got my General Finishes wood ball finish, and I am ready to wipe some on. The figure on this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. It's spalting. He lets his logs sit for several months before he prepares them into bulb lengths. He likes to get the spalting on there, and I don't blame him, because it is beautiful. This wood is just sucking up this finish. So I think in this particular case, rub on one more coat just to see what will absorb, and then I'm going to let it sit for a while before I apply a second coat, or it would be, I guess, a third coat at this point. So I'm doing 2 right now, but gosh, it is getting sucked right into the wood. The color it adds to this figure in this wood is just amazing. And this bowl is mine. I'm not selling this bowl. Alright, I'm going to let that sit and dry, and I will come back later on and add another coat. Alright, it's time for another coat. Applying a heavy coat and buff it off after a bit, but man, it's still being sucked into this wood. Wow, this is still absorbing a lot of finish. Alright, I think I'm going to leave this with a matte finish. I kind of like it. I think it works well with this bowl. So I'm going to let this dry And when I come back, we're going to remove the tenon. Alright, it's time to remove it from this chuck and put it into the coal jaws. Now, I will say this is not the way Glenn would do it. He'd use a vacuum chuck, which eventually I will get, but I don't have that right now, so coal jaws is what I got. So here you can see the double tenons that Glenn had me do in order to hold this to make it make sanding easier on the outside one, and then the inside tenon was for finishing the bowl itself. All right, that's sanded. It's going to put a little finish on the bottom. Let that dry for a little bit and I'll put one more coat on. All right. So here is my Irish Flame Beach bowl started at the Lucas Woodturning School, and it was one hell of an experience. That's all I can say, and I will do it again. All right, thank you all for watching. If you think you've gotten anything out of this, please click like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Also, leave me comments because I answer each and every one. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.